Elena Rossi's headlights cut through the rain like knives through black velvet, illuminating nothing but the slick, wet chaos of the coast. 40 degrees, Highway 101, 2 in the morning. She should have been home an hour ago. Then she saw her, a Doberman, standing dead center in the road, not running, not moving, just standing there in the pouring rain, staring directly into Elena's high beams. Elena slammed the brakes. The SUV hydroplaned slightly, stopped 10 feet from the dog. The animal didn't flinch. Instead, she dropped to her front paws, placed one paw on the hood of Elena's car, and made a sound Elena would never forget. Not a bark, but a cry. Almost human. Desperate. Then the dog did something impossible. She gently took the sleeve of Elena's raincoat in her mouth and pulled her toward the dense forest. Elena's heart hammered against her ribs. Every instinct screamed danger. But those eyes were begging. Elena Rossi had been driving this route for 3 years. Every night after her 12-hour shift at the trauma center in Astoria, Oregon. She made the 20-mile journey back to her cabin near the cliffs. Same highway, same curves, same silence. She preferred the silence now. It was safer than conversation, safer than connection, safer than the raw ache of remembering what she'd lost. Mark had died on this highway 3 years ago, almost to the day. Hydroplaning, a fallen tree. The kind of accident that happens in seconds but echoes for a lifetime. Elena had been in the passenger seat. She'd survived with a shattered hip, broken ribs, and the specialist's quiet words that still haunted her. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Rossi. The damage was extensive. You won't be able to carry a child." They'd been trying for 2 years before the accident. 2 years of hope and disappointment, of tests and appointments, of Mark's hand in hers, saying, "We'll keep trying. We have time." But they didn't have time. And now Elena had nothing but time. Empty time. Hours that stretched into days that blurred into weeks. She went to work, came home, slept, and did it again. Her sister called from Portland every Sunday, voice careful and concerned. "Elena, you need to start living again. Mark wouldn't want this." But Elena couldn't hear what Mark would want. She couldn't think about it without feeling like she was drowning. So she'd built walls, thick ones. She smiled at patients, held their hands when they were scared, advocated for their care with the fierce competence that had made her a respected paramedic. But when her shift ended, the walls went up. No drinks with coworkers, no dates arranged by well-meaning friends, no pets, no plants, nothing that required her to care. Because caring meant losing, and Elena couldn't survive another loss. At 38, she felt ancient. Tonight had been a typical shift. A logger with a crushed foot, a teenager with alcohol poisoning, an elderly man with heart failure who had held Elena's hand and whispered, "You have kind eyes, sad, but kind." Elena had smiled, adjusted the monitor, and said nothing. Now, at 2 in the morning, with the worst storm of the season hammering her windshield, Elena just wanted to get home. Then the dog appeared, and everything changed. Elena sat frozen in her car, engine idling, wipers battling the deluge. The Doberman stood 3 feet from her bumper, still holding Elena's sleeve, tugging gently but insistently. The dog's eyes never left Elena's face. Elena had seen desperation before. She was a medic. She'd held the hands of mothers waiting for news about their sons. She knew what desperation looked like. This dog was desperate. "Okay," Elena whispered. "Okay, I'll follow you." She grabbed her heavy flashlight, pulled her hood up, and opened the door. The rain hit her like a physical blow, cold water instantly soaking her skin. The dog released her sleeve and immediately turned toward the tree line, looking back to make sure Elena was following. Every rational thought in Elena's brain screamed at her to get back in the car. She was exhausted. The storm was getting worse. Following a strange dog into the woods at 2 a.m. was insane. But something in those intelligent amber eyes had reached through her carefully constructed walls. Elena stepped into the mud. It was deeper than she'd expected, sucking at her boots. The dog moved with purpose, weaving between rain-slicked fir trees, her sleek black shape barely visible in the beam of Elena's flashlight. "Wait!" Elena called. The wind tore the word away. The dog paused, looked back, then continued forward. Elena stumbled after her. Branches clawed at her coat. Rain found its way down her neck. She'd been walking for maybe 5 minutes, but it felt like an hour. "Where are you taking me?" Elena's voice cracked. "Please, I can't." The dog stopped. Elena nearly collided with her, catching herself against a massive fallen cedar. The trunk created a small, dry hollow beneath it, hidden by ferns and debris. The dog crawled into the hollow. Elena dropped to her knees and shined her light inside. Her breath caught. A tiny puppy lay on a pile of wet leaves, barely moving. A Doberman mix, maybe 3 weeks old. The puppy's eyes were closed. Its breathing was rapid and shallow, ribs visible under the thin, wet fur. "Oh God," Elena breathed. The mother dog was lying beside her baby now, licking its face, whining softly. She looked up at Elena, and the message in her eyes was unmistakable. "Help. Please help." Elena's training kicked in immediately. She set the flashlight down and reached carefully into the hollow. The mother tensed, but didn't move away. Elena touched the puppy gently. Cold. Too cold. Severe hypothermia. "I need to take her," Elena said quietly, looking at the mother. "I need to warm her up. Do you understand?" The dog stared at her. Elena reached for the puppy. The mother moved between them, a low growl rumbling in her chest. Not aggressive, just terrified. Elena sat back on her heels. "Listen to me," Elena said, her voice steady despite the rain. "I know you don't trust people. I can see it in your eyes. Someone hurt you." The dog's ears flattened. "But your baby is dying," Elena continued. "I save lives. That's what I do. Please, let me help." The dog didn't move. Elena made a decision. Slowly. Deliberately. She unzipped her waterproof coat and shrugged it off. The cold rain hit her scrub top instantly. She laid the coat on the mud between them. "See? No weapons. No tricks." She held up her empty hands. "I'm freezing now too. But I wanted you to see. I just want to help." For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the mother dog did something extraordinary. She gently picked up her puppy by the scruff, turned, and placed it in Elena's outstretched hands. Elena's eyes filled with tears mixed with rain. "Thank you," she whispered. "I promise I'll save her." She tucked the puppy inside her scrub top against her skin, wrapped the coat around both of them, and started running back toward her car. The mother dog followed close behind. Elena's lungs burned. She slipped twice in the mud, catching herself on her free hand, protecting the puppy against her chest. Finally, she saw the glow of her hazard lights. She yanked the door open and climbed in. The mother dog jumped in after her without hesitation. Elena cranked the heat to maximum. She pulled out the puppy. Blue lips, shallow breathing. "No, no, no," Elena muttered. She began rubbing the puppy gently, trying to stimulate circulation. "Come on, baby, stay with me." The mother dog was in the passenger seat, whining desperately. Elena grabbed her phone and dialed Dr. Alice Chen, the local vet. A friend. "Alice, pick up." "This better be life or death, Elena." "It is. I'm bringing you a hypothermic puppy, maybe 3 weeks old. She's fading." "Where are you?" "Highway 101. I'll be there in 30 minutes. I'll meet you at the clinic. Drive safe." "Alice, there's a mother dog too. She's in bad shape." Elena glanced at the dog, saw the scars in the dashboard light, the torn ear, the trembling. "Bring them both." Elena drove, too fast for the rain. At mile marker 47, she felt it. The puppy's chest stopped moving. "No." Elena pulled over immediately. She laid the puppy on the center console. 2 fingers. Compress. Compress. Breathe. Tiny puff of air into the small nose. The mother dog was whining, a high-pitched, desperate sound. "I'm trying," Elena cried. "Don't you dare die. Your mama fought too hard for you." Compress. Breathe. 1 minute. Then a tiny gasp. The puppy's chest moved. Elena collapsed back against her seat, sobbing. Okay, baby." She tucked the puppy back against her skin. "Stay with me." 28 minutes later, Elena pulled into the clinic. Alice Chen was waiting. Exam room blazing with light. They worked for an hour. Warm water baths, glucose, oxygen. Elena assisted, her skills translating seamlessly. Finally, Alice straightened. "She's going to make it." "You saved her, Elena." Elena felt something break loose in her chest. A sob escaped. Then another. She was crying. Really crying. For the first time since Mark's funeral. Alice put a hand on her shoulder. "It's okay. Let's look at Mama." Alice approached the Doberman slowly. The dog allowed it, but her eyes never left the puppy. Alice ran her hands over the sleek black body. Then her expression hardened. "Elena, look at this." Alice pointed to scars, old ones, new ones, cigarette burns, bite marks, and here, choke chain scarring. Someone did this to her, deliberately. Alice checked the microchip. Her face went pale. "Do you know who this dog is?" "No." "This is Shadow, Marcus Vane's dog." Elena froze. "The security breeder?" "The same. Rumors have followed him for years. Illegal fighting rings, cruelty. But he has money, connections. He's been looking for this dog for weeks. She's valuable breeding stock." Elena felt a hot rage building in her chest. "He's not getting her back." "Elena, legally, I don't care about the law. Look at her." Shadow was licking her puppy's face. She escaped him, in a storm, to save her baby. He is not getting her back. Alice sighed. "Take them home, for tonight. Keep them hidden. I'll start a paper trail, document the injuries. But if Vane finds out, let him try." Elena took them to her cabin. The place she'd bought with Mark, isolated, quiet. She built a fire. Shadow stood in the center of the living room, tense. "It's okay," Elena whispered. "You're home." Home. The word felt strange. Elena set up a bed by the fire. Shadow curled around her puppy. But her eyes watched Elena. "I'm not leaving," Elena said. She made a nest on the couch. "See? I'm right here." For the next week, Elena lived in a rhythm she hadn't known she missed. Feeding the puppy, who she named Ember, every 2 hours. Gaining Shadow's trust. Shadow, who flinched at raised hands. Shadow, who scanned the perimeter of the yard like a soldier. But on the 4th day, Shadow laid her head in Elena's lap and sighed. It was the sound of a burden being set down. Elena realized she was smiling. Actually smiling. Then the black truck appeared, parked at the end of her long driveway. Elena saw it from the window. Shadow began to growl. A low, terrifying sound. Elena grabbed her phone, dialed the sheriff. "It's Marcus Vane. He's outside my house." "Is he on your property?" "He's at the gate." "I can't do anything unless he trespasses, Elena." Vane sat there for an hour, just watching. 2 days later, the summons arrived. Court order. Return of property. Elena called a lawyer friend, Rebecca Solis. "It's going to be tough, Elena. Animals are property in Oregon. He has the papers. Unless we prove abuse, we have the scars. He'll say they're from working accidents or fights with other dogs. We have to try." The hearing was a nightmare. Marcus Vane arrived in a tailored suit. He looked reasonable, calm. "Your Honor," his lawyer said, "this is a simple case of theft. Ms. Rossi found valuable property and refused to return it." Elena testified. She talked about the storm, the hypothermia, the terror in Shadow's eyes. Vane's lawyer stood up. "Ms. Rossi, you lost your husband recently, correct?" "Objection!" Rebecca shouted. "Goes to state of mind, Your Honor." Ms. Rossi is projecting her need for a family onto this animal. She's lonely. She's grieving. It's sad, but it's not a legal argument. Elena felt like she'd been slapped. "It's not about me. It's about a living creature who was tortured." The judge sighed. "Ms. Rossi, I sympathize. But the law is clear. Mr. Vane has title. You have 48 hours to return the animals." Elena couldn't breathe. 48 hours. To send Shadow back to hell. She drove home in a daze. Shadow met her at the door, tail wagging. Ember, now a bouncing ball of energy, attacked her shoelaces. "I failed you," Elena whispered, sinking to the floor. "I failed you." She sat there as the sun went down. Shadow licked the tears from her face. Elena's phone rang. She ignored it. It rang again and again. Finally, she answered. "Elena?" It was Detective Grant. "Don't do anything yet." "What?" "Alice Chen called me. She told me everything." "Grant," the judge ruled. "I know, but I've been working a case on Vane for months. Racketeering, illegal gambling. We just needed a probable cause for a warrant. Your testimony about the specific injuries, the cigarette burns, matches a pattern. We're hitting his place tonight." Elena waited. 1 hour. 2. 3. At 4:00 a.m., headlights swept her driveway. Elena grabbed a kitchen knife, stood in front of the dogs, but it was a police cruiser. Detective Grant stepped out. He looked exhausted, but he was smiling. "We got him." Elena dropped the knife. "We found the ledger," Grant said, sitting at her kitchen table. He kept records of everything. Breeding, fights, bets. He documented the abuse, Elena, like it was a business expense. Notes on disciplining Shadow for refusing to breed. He's in custody, no bail. The dogs? Seized by the state. And since you're already a registered foster, they stay. They stay with you." Elena burst into tears. Real, shaking sobs of relief. Shadow came to her, pressed her heavy head against Elena's chest. "You're safe," Elena whispered. "Forever." The trial was 6 months later. Elena sat in the front row. Shadow lay at her feet, wearing a service vest. Vane didn't look at them. Not once. The sentence was 15 years, plus a lifetime ban on animal ownership. When the gavel came down, Elena felt a weight lift off her shoulders, a weight she'd carried for 3 years. Outside the courthouse, the sun was shining, rare for Oregon. Rebecca hugged her. "It's over." "No," Elena said, looking down at Shadow and the now lanky teenage puppy, Ember. "It's just beginning." That evening, Elena sat on her porch. The ocean roared in the distance. Shadow and Ember were chasing each other in the tall grass. The silence wasn't empty anymore. It was peaceful. Elena sipped her tea. She thought about Mark, about the life they had planned, and the life she had found. She realized that loving these dogs didn't mean letting go of Mark. It meant honoring him. He would have stopped for them. He would have fought for them. "I think you'd be proud," she whispered to the wind. Shadow stopped running, looked back at Elena, and gave a single sharp bark of joy. Elena smiled. "I know. Me too." Sometimes the things we rescue end up rescuing us.